Los Angeles versus Toronto, Saturday night, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time on TSN and Sportsnet 590 The Fan on the radio with Dan Dunleavy. Now, Dan, Toronto heading to LA for the second time this year, first time for MLS. Champions League obviously was a different story and a successful story, but now you're facing an LA team that's in form. Toronto, not so much, having endured a bit of a losing stretch right now.
You're being polite, aren't you?
I am being a little bit polite. I am wearing the badge and I'm wearing the initials here, but LA has a couple of well-known players, don't they?
Yeah, just a few, and unfortunately for Toronto, they're well rested because they didn't need to play a whole lot or at all in their recent Champions League game and knocking off Puerto Rico. So getting that scoreless tie, they didn't really have to play a lot of guys and use their B team really for all intents and purposes. Bruce Arena has enough depth on this club. Obviously, David Beckham's a treat and a threat whenever he's over the ball. Landon Donovan is driven, and Robbie Keane at this point in time seems to be their leader when it comes to putting the ball in the back of the net. And this is a club that I think at the beginning of the year, when you have that many leaders and you throw Juninho and his importance into the mix as well, you're trying to find out who is the guy, who's the leader, because athletes look for that one guy to kind of lead the way for him. And here it was Torsten Frings when he was healthy, or whether it be Danny Kouvermans. And, you know, in LA, they had to have their meetings amongst themselves and figure that out, who was going to lead the club. And, you know, Bruce Arena and the players got that sorted out. And ever since, they've been on a tear. And they're tough to beat at home. They won their last 4 at home, the last 3 by 2-0 scores, and they beat some pretty good clubs. So, you know, I mean, LA is in form, and you're right, for Toronto FC, they've got to find some form right now and just focus on the fact that we talked about it on our Goal TV show today, was the fact that TFC just focus on the positives that they've had against the LA Galaxy, and don't change a whole lot of what you did last time you played them. Don't play as individuals, play as a team, and see if you can give them a hard time.
Now, the guys that always get the headlines you mentioned, but also you touched on Juninho. For me, this is the man that keeps their midfield together. Yeah. Talk about him a little bit, and why is he so effective to Bruce Arena's squad?
Well, you know, the big thing is when you have a player that's that effective, the first thing that I notice is his communication with his teammates. And what does he do without the ball? Because obviously with the ball, we know he knows how to distribute. We know he can come forward. We know he can score from 30 yards out. He's got the great shot. But the thing is, what is he doing without the ball on the pitch? And that is really helping to orchestrate players and where they need to be. And I know there's not a lot of that has to happen with the likes of Donovan, Beckham, and Robbie Keane, but you still do need, and that gets back to the point we talked about earlier with leadership, you need someone to be, as you mentioned, the engine through the midfield. And, you know, then Bruce Arena can really sit on the sideline and just kind of leave the team alone. And when they come in at halftime, if he's got something to say, he can say it. So, you know, a bit of a coach on the field there, and that's what they need, any team needs in the midfield.
So it's Toronto visiting Los Angeles Saturday night, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time, live on TSN on television, Sportsnet 590 The Fan on the radio with Dan Dunleavy, and also with Dan, a post-game show on Gold TV right after the final whistle on Saturday night. On Twitter, use the hashtag TFC Live to join the conversation. For Dan Dunleavy, Asif Hussain, we'll see you soon.